Welcome to Playbook for Performance, the official podcast of Shauna Corden, the Joan of Arc for corporate healing and performance. Join the quest to make work fun again by preparing leadership for engaging workplaces. And now, your host.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Playbook for Performance podcast. The last couple weeks we've been talking about different personality types, how to interact with those different personality types, and adapting your style to best match people where they are and what they need so that you can be really intentional about connecting with them. And we're pivoting that connection to a podcast today all about enjoying the holidays. We are in the thick of holiday season here, and I want to make sure for myself, as well as all of you, the trick to enjoying the holidays. And this is a program that I've delivered many times over the years for workplace audiences, sharing with friends and colleagues. And I just want to make sure that you too get this benefit because it makes the holidays just so much more enjoyable. So just a reminder, if you want, you can be watching this on YouTube. You can be listening on the podcast. Either way, check out the show notes or the comments below to find out more. So let's get started. If you have a piece of paper and a pen handy, this will be super helpful. If not, you can always hit pause on the podcast in order to do some typing, but we will be asking you to answer some questions today to create your own lists of what you want to do. So let's start with the most important premise, and that is starting with the end in mind. End in mind. So Stephen Covey, 7 Habits for Highly Effective Folks. What is your desired outcome for the holidays? Would you like it to be restful? Would you like it to be busy and full of fun activities? Do you want to connect with lots and lots of people and just show your face? Do you want to have a few meaningful interactions? Do you want to dig deeper and be more spiritual and connect to your faith? Maybe you want to use this kind of downtime to establish a new habit. Maybe you want to start 75 hard and get your health on track for 2024 and beyond. You may not know what you want. That's okay. A lot of us don't know what we want, and so the best way to do this is to come up with what you know you don't want and use a process of elimination or opposites for this. So I thought I'd just track down a few things that I think none of us want during this holiday season. So to have it be as commercial as possible. I always think of Lucy going to the big box store to pick out the Christmas tree, and she's like, ooh, look at the pink aluminum one, which actually could be quite cute. But that whole idea compared to like the natural aesthetic and meaning that Charlie Brown has with his little delegate tree. Getting on everybody's nerves. So there is a lot of hustle and bustle, pressure, traffic, stress during the holidays if you let it get to you. So I always like to play this game with myself of here's all the wonderful obstacles I will run into, and I'm going to mentally check this box each time I occur or run into it. So the person who stands in the middle of the aisle so no one can pass. The person who doesn't have their wallet ready when they go to pay. The person who is, fiddling with their phone so they're not moving their car forward in traffic. The person who's super rude to the salesperson of no fault of their own that they can't make something happen. Just being crabby in general, or the person who's coughing and sneezing without covering their mouth or nose. The person who's obviously tired. We always see like little children who are just like being dragged by their parents, and that they would rather just curl up on a bench and go to sleep. or just that general stress level. Or the last thing I would add is the feeling of obligation. Buying a crap gift because you feel you must give something to someone to show that you have affection for them, and you don't want to buy it and they don't want to get it. So those are some examples of, I think, what all of us don't want. You may have more you want to add. Feel free to drop them in the comments on our YouTube channel here. Or if you're watching this clip on Instagram, feel free to put it there as well. So we know what we don't want. So what's the opposite of those things? So in my case, I want things to be meaningful and not cheap plastic crap. I'll just say it like that. Okay. I want to be patient with people. I want to respond instead of react. I want to give myself plenty of time so I'm always relaxed. I'm not like praying for green lights. I might even welcome a red light just to like chill for a second. I want to be cheerful. I want to be well nourished, not tired, not hungry, well hydrated. I want to feel like I got my exercise in and that I'm eating nutritionally. So I'm not just loading up on a bunch of junk food, as tempting as the holidays are with all of that, wonderful baked goods and things like that. I want to be well rested. So I will actually make the intention of going to bed even earlier than I already go to bed, which is quite early. And I am going to question every obligation that I put on my calendar between now and the end of the year, saying, is this necessary to do now? Is it part of my desired outcome, the end in mind? So one example of that is the Christmas office party. What if you had it in January instead? You wouldn't have to compete for so many slots with, events, locations and things like that. And everybody gets a little bit more of a breather. And you get to, you don't have that post-holiday blah, but you've got like something to look forward to in January. So those are just some examples of the opposite of what I named. You may have some more things. You may have some family traditions that you want to observe over and over again and continue on with this year, whether it's going out and get your holiday tree, a cookie swap, going to midnight mass, whatever it might be. Make sure that that gets on your list for desired outcome. So we want to make that list of goals that we have. So again, cookie swap, whatever it might be. And then what are the requirements that are necessary to meet those goals? For example, having flour and sugar to bake cookies to go to the cookie swap. That kind of thing. We want to understand what's behind each of those goals and what leads up to it. We also want to think about possible obstacles. What might get in the way of you doing this? Are there any urgent activities that are happening? Might you be susceptible to getting sick if you're overdoing it? Could it be that you haven't scheduled enough time to do it, and so things are stacking up? Think about the obstacles that might get in the way of you having success with this end in mind, or the goal that you have in mind. You also might need some boundaries to stay on track. One of the things I've suggested is if people have a lot of activities, making sure they're not all back to back to back to back. Have a break in there. Or if you can negotiate it, see if you can work 6-hour days through those busy couple weeks instead of 8-hour days. So that way you're well rested, well nourished, things like that before you're attending your holiday parties and things like that. Think about people who really ask a lot of you. Can you push back? Can you delegate more? So I'm about to host Thanksgiving for 22 people, and I'm delegating all the side dishes. right? I want to have fun. I want to enjoy everybody's company. I don't want to be alone in the kitchen. Actually, our kitchen is never empty. Everybody gathers in the kitchen, but, I don't want to have to, weave in and out of everybody to try and prepare all the meals. I want to be present and enjoy it. So think about those kind of boundaries that you need to really stay on track. And if you need a lesson on boundaries, drop a comment in the YouTube channel, or you can DM us on Instagram, and we can send you a very brief video lesson on boundaries. So a couple of things that I'm really looking forward to, in addition to all those positive things I mentioned in terms of how I want to be during the holidays, are some activities. I want to visit the winery with some friends. I want to shop for stocking stuffers with my husband. I want to take care of some year-end business tasks before January. Not really related to the holiday, but it makes January so much better. I want to experience just the magic of the holiday year, whether it's the decorations or music or, maybe seeing a play, something like that. And then connecting with my faith, really recognizing this is what this season is about. These are the events that led up to it. Really have that sort of introspection that makes faith deeper, as opposed to just this commercial whirlwind. So those are some things that I have on my own list. Some of these are achievement goals. Some of them are process goals. So obviously the faith-based observation isn't just going to Mass and then being done with it, but it's spending time reflecting each day. And there may be some activities to help observe that, like lighting the Advent candle wreaths or going through things like that. But making sure that I've got those pegged out and put in my calendar. So the process goals I know might be daily or every other day, making sure that's in there, but also looking at those very specific activities like winery with friends. We're going to have to look at different dates. We're going to pick a winery, all those things, to make it all coalesce. So do recognize that the calendar is your friend during this time, not your foe. So, when it comes to the enjoyment of these things, a lot of it is really going to be in our attitude. So the next couple weeks, we're going to be talking about choosing a healthy attitude. We are going to talk about how to stay present in the moment. These are all things that contribute to a wonderful holiday. And if you have special requests that you'd like to hear about to make your holiday season more enjoyable, just like the way that we adapt to others, we want to adapt to the season, be sure and drop us a note and we will include that in the future programming. So until next time, take good care and happy holidays.